Welcome to 4 Accelerator. I'm your host Zoo, and today we're going to be looking at a matchup of Mongols versus Aztecs. I've decided, as part of this maining Mongols series, to play against every civilization, and I'm starting alphabetically with the Aztecs. So you can see I'm doing a fairly standard build here. I'm going to be going for a feudal scout rush. I'm going to use the Mongols' quick hunting speed, which allows them to get through the Dark Age really quickly, gather food really quickly, to age up to the feudal age, and I'm going to be using that to go up at around 18 or 19 population with 17 or 18 villagers. So I'm scouting with the sheep a little bit. I'm scouting with my scout, obviously, and I get 6 on sheep before I put 3 on wood. So I'm making sure that there's sheep around. I'm using the sheep to scout a little bit like that. Let's talk a little bit about the matchup. The Aztecs have some econ bonus with their +5 carrying capacity for villagers. They have the Jaguar Warrior infantry unit, which is an anti-infantry infantry unit. And they have +15% production speed to all military units, in addition to some, monk bonuses, relic gold, and so on. But those are the ones I'm mostly concerned with here. Now, of course, even though they get production bonus to all military units, they don't have cavalry because they're an American civilization. So right off the bat, that takes cavalry out of consideration. We don't have to worry about that, and instead we have to focus on their infantry and archers. They do have the Eagle Warrior, which is a little bit like a cavalry unit. It's resistant to archer fire, and I think it has a little bit of a bonus to cavalry, in fact. So the Eagle Warriors are going to be a threat to our bread and butter, which is our cavalry archers, and specifically our Mangudai. There's the first boar lore. So I've got 7 on food right now, 3 on wood. I'm going to send the next villagers to mill berries, build some houses, and I want to put 4 on berries, and then finish with the rest on the boar and the sheep. So I just found a couple of sheep there. I'm finding a couple more sheep here, so all 4 of my sheep have been found, and then I'm going to send the scout off to scout more. Building our house here, 3rd house. And one tip here is to really focus on the boar health with the Mongols, because it'll go quicker than you think it will with that hunting speed bonus. So I want to send off the other villager to get this boar over this way. I think I'm a little late here, so because I was a little late, I move a sheep over to the town center, and I send those villagers to harvest the sheep. Now, I actually didn't pay attention, and so I lost a villager to that boar, so I sent another one over to get it. Luckily, it was still within its sort of natural range, so it didn't move all the way back to its starting location, which is good. So I'm not going to lose focus this time. I'm going to pay attention to the villager here. And it did buy us a little time to harvest a little bit faster from that sheep to try to finish the sheep off before we start. So I run it over to the town center. I garrison that villager. These villagers finish the sheep, and then they start attacking the boar. Meanwhile, my town center gathering point was on the berries, so we sent over villagers to those berries. And I want to keep my scout moving. We found some ostriches, the equivalent of deer on this map. Scout's moving. I got 16 population right now. I want to go up around 18 to 20, or 18 to 19 or so. Sort of just depends on how the food's coming in. And I've already queued up Loom after this next villager, so we'll go up at 18 pop. Now back to the matchup. Like I said, I want to go with scouts into Mangudai in the Castle Age, a pretty standard build. It requires putting villagers on stone in the Feudal Age, but you don't need that many, just 3 or so will do. And the reason I like this for this matchup is because we don't have to worry about cavalry. We mostly have to worry about infantry, and our cavalry archers will do very well against their infantry. They'll do very well against spears, which they'll probably build in response to our scout rush. we will have to worry about eagle warriors, but fortunately, the Mongols have the champion, and they have good infantry techs from the blacksmith. We didn't quite kill that scout. I want to catch that goat before it runs away with all these villagers. A little bit of a waste there, but not too bad. So I'll send that sheep back. I'll send the villagers back. Little inefficiencies here, but we are attacking up to the feudal age well before the AI is. So because we have those good champions, champions are a good counter to, or the swordsman line in general are a good counter to eagle warriors. So we have those in the back pocket just in case the enemy decides to make a lot of eagle warriors. Otherwise, it's a pretty standard Mangudai plan. The Mangudai will be good against the Jaguar Warrior if the Jaguar Warriors get out, because Jaguar Warriors are just anti-infantry, and like most infantry, cavalry archers will do quite well against them. So we're building a barracks now. The barracks is a little bit late. Probably could have gotten it out sooner, but we'll build a house after that. It's important when you go up on 18 or 19 pop with the Mongols that you don't forget to build another house, because usually you would build a house earlier in the build to get to 25 pop or higher if you're going to fast castle or something. But I usually forego it until the transition to the feudal age at least. So we're in the feudal age. The AI is now teching up to feudal age 2. I'm creating villagers from the town center. And one thing that I didn't point out before, but I should, is that when I was going into the feudal age, I took villagers off the boar and sent them over to chop wood. So right now, including these 5 villagers that I got chopping straggler trees, I should have around 8 or 9 villagers chopping wood at the lumber camps. So my scouts found the enemy base. I'm scouting all around it now. And I'm sending scouts forward after I built that stable. And I'm going to look to raid with my scouts. Meanwhile, whenever I can afford it, I want to set a villager, one of these straggler tree chopping villagers, to farms. Get as much food as possible. I've already put 2 on gold at this point. And we have 3 scouts. That's enough to start raiding. I did get housed. I have to fix that. But I'm going to start raiding with those scouts. And I set them to attack the mining camp. Ideally, you would target the villagers first. But if I'm going to leave the scouts themselves, I don't want them to just chase down a villager if that villager is going to run back to the town center. That's a good way to lose your scouts. So I just set them to do some damage on the mining camp while I focus on other things. And then I come back to them and I try to attack any villagers I catch out. So I've got 2 on gold. You don't necessarily need them to get there that early, but I think it was just a convenient time, convenient location. So I put them there. I'm still getting more scouts out. I'm still getting villagers out. We're getting a lot of food, so we can afford to do both. I see that these villagers are putting down a tower, so I want to send my scouts over to attack the villagers while they're building the tower to hopefully get them off. Or just kill them. And the AI will send even more villagers to try to complete it, which is just more villager kills. And the tower will be deleted. If the tower had gone up, it wouldn't have been a problem. I would have just left my scouts at the base where it can't attack them. And I would have just taken the tower down, and it would have cost the AI however much a tower costs in stone, which I believe is 125. I could be wrong about that. And we're just disrupting their wood right now, getting some villager kills. Meanwhile, town center is idle, but only just, so building some houses. I want to wall in my base with houses. I decide to build more farms. And we're almost down on forage bushes. And then we'll send those villagers to farm as well. So after clearing off the villagers, my scouts are just attacking the lumber mill. We get some farms set up here around the mill. And I'm a perfectionist about farms, so I want to set them touching like that. Alright, so their lumber mill's been destroyed. Now it's time to hunt for more villagers. We can see they're building another lumber mill there, so I send my scouts to attack that villager as well. We'll get a kill, and they'll delete that lumber mill. I don't want to attack too close to the town center. They do have an archery range up, but they haven't made any units just yet. They also have a barracks. There's their eagle warrior, there's a spearman. I have enough scouts at this point to bring down the spearman without much damage to my scouts. There's another one there. A horde of scout cavalry against a single spearman at a time can trade pretty effectively, but once they start massing them like they're starting to do now, and they're getting some archers out, now is when I want to run my scouts away, target villagers, get them off of gold, get them off of wood, but mostly just not take any losses. One trick I want to try, I haven't really done very much of, is splitting the group. So I could split one group, make it go one way, split the group, go another way. That way one group might always be able to attack some villagers somewhere. But that's a lot of micro. Right now I'm not building any scouts, I'm saving up my food. I am producing villagers though. We have got plenty of gold and we'll have plenty of food soon to go up to feudal. So I send some villagers over to build a mine on stone. Meanwhile, I send my scouts out to do a little bit of scouting, then bring them back to the base, target villagers again. I got a lot of villagers on that wood line. Tasty villagers to destroy. And we got two villager kills, and we're out of there. There's 3 kills, maybe 4. There we go. And no losses on my cavalry. The scouts didn't even get there in time. So that's the kind of raiding I like to see. Let's see, I got my blacksmith up. I have this idle villager. I want to build more stuff with it. Just fixing my idols here. My TC is researching Castle Age, and I also queue up Wheelbarrow after that. Probably would have been worth it to get Wheelbarrow before going up to the Castle Age, but I'm not too particular about stuff like that. So going up to Castle, I got an archery range to build some skirmishers or whatever I need from that. Cavalry archers if I need to. So far we've seen a lot of spearmen and a couple of archers, so skirmishers would be a good thing to build to respond to both of those. Meanwhile, just let my cavalry do their work, go back to the same wood line, see if I can get away with the same again. And in between raids, I'm just doing scouting around the map, trying to get vision. And here come the spearmen and archers, again, mostly from that other side. Now they're coming from the left side as well. There's quite a mass. I should really be making skirmishers at this point. I think I start making archers instead. Archers will do, though. As long as they don't have any skirmishers, my archers can trade well against their army. But in some later games, I'll try out skirmishers, and I find I really like the skirmishers with light cavalry, skirmishers with knights, skirmishers with Mangudai. Because the AI really likes to build archers, they really like to build spearmen when you come at them with a scout rush. So the skirmishers are good for that. So now I notice that the AI is attacking me. I don't panic, I just decide I can send my scouts to do some raiding. All they're doing is attacking my buildings. Not a big deal. So I want to do some raiding with my scouts, kill their villagers, get the AI to back off maybe. Because often if you start attacking the enemy's base, they'll pull their army back unless they have enough troops at home. So now they're building some skirmishers, but I don't have to worry about those. I see lots of villagers that I can raid. And notice that once I start killing their villagers, as predicted, the AI's army will retreat from my base to come protect theirs. Meanwhile, I'm making militia to deal with the spearmen, and I'm still making archers. I should be making more villagers. As always, always could be making more villagers. But there we go, I got some villagers queued up now. And instead of making all those militia, I decided to upgrade to men-at-arms, and I get supplies as well to build more or men-at-arms after that more cheaply. I put another town center down on that gold. I had just enough to build a castle, but I wanted to get that town center down first, just so I could boom my economy a little bit more. Still keeping the scouts moving. I've explored most of the map now, and I've done some successful raiding. Kept the AI from attacking my own base. Second town center is going up. And now I'll build my castle. And I find the AI likes to attack the same place over and over again. They don't really like to find new places to attack. So I build my castle where I expect them to attack again. This town center is close to some ostriches, which, like I said, are like deer. And anytime I get the opportunity to hunt as the Mongols, I want to take it, because that's free food. We'll get it even faster than other civilizations would, which means we'll get more food out of it because we'll lose less to decay. Doing some more raiding, same spot. And our castle's almost done. That'll give us a little bit of housing, then we'll have to build more houses. I could still be producing villagers now, that's one thing. There we go. Now I got villagers. Problem is I'm housed, so I need to get that we got some housing, like I said, from the castle, which is good. We'll want to build some houses though. So I'll build one there because I'm about to chop through that wood line, and I don't want to lose. I don't want to leave a gap, even though it's right by the castle, so a gap would probably be fine there. And I'm producing villagers out of both TCs now. Still building men-at-arms to deal with all those spearmen. So I want to deal with the spearmen with men-at-arms, and I also want to be prepared for eagle warriors, because I did see one eagle warrior. I believe it was their scout, their original scout, but just in case, I want to be prepared with those men-at-arms. It might not be the best idea, because they could counter with jaguar warriors, but anything to take out all the spears we've been seeing, I think, is a good bet at this point. Researching fletching. Just got crossbowmen because I have all those archers built. And the enemy tries to attack, loses a spearman in my castle, and runs away. So the AI finally got to the castle age. It was a bit late. I think all the harassing I did was effective there. And let's see, they've got pikemen now. They've got crossbowmen. So I know what they have. That means I can counter it. They've got a few skirmishers as well, but not many. So I start queuing up my Mangudai. The Mangudai will be good against the pikemen and the archers. The men-at-arms will be good against the pikemen. I have crossbowmen of my own. They're just sitting in my archery range right now, though. And I'm tired of getting housed, so I make a better wall there with houses. And my hunters are now done, so I have them start another gold mine as well. And I have this TC down here by another wood line, a nice defensive position. And there's a relic right by our base, so I decided to build a monastery there. We're out of stone back there. It's time to find another stone mine. The only one I can find is out in front of me, so I send my villagers out that way. And my castle can't quite reach it, it doesn't look like, but I have my military there. I send my men-at-arms forward to guard that stone. My scouts have been upgraded to light cavalry now. I want to use those against their archers. And I start queuing up monks to get relics. So here's where the fighting starts. I want to use my men-at-arms against those pikemen. I got Mangudai coming forward. And I decided to set my villagers to build a castle, because I really need that stone. And this is where a lot of fighting is going to happen. So I got my Mangudai harassing. My men-at-arms are gone here. I still haven't pulled those archers out of my archery range. There we go. Now here come our crossbowmen. They're doing a little bit of damage to our villagers, but the villagers are still building. We're keeping the enemy just distracted enough with our military to get this castle up. This was probably a really risky castle maneuver, but it pays off. Now we've got our stone secured. And we've got another forward castle that we can produce from. We've got quite a lot of wood right now. A decent amount of gold. I should be queuing up Mangudai. I'm getting the nomad tech, which allows us to keep population even if houses are destroyed. It's pretty cheap, so I usually don't mind getting it. I'm trying to queue up villagers at all my TCs, getting my eco-techs. And we took a heavy hit from that mangonel. Keeping the economy going, villagers from every TC. I should be building more military now. I got lots of wood, lots of gold. Mangudai should be coming out of both castles. But I'm busy making farms to get more food. Because I got a lot of wood income right now. I got 32 villagers, 33 villagers on wood. And I'm up to 82 villagers total, which is good. That's as good or better than the AI is going to build on the hard difficulty that we're on. And I got my one Mangudai taking down that Mangonel with its bonus against siege and its mobility to dodge. That castle's just slowly whittling away at that siege workshop. And there we go, we start queuing up Mangudai like we should be doing. Queuing up some monks as well. It's about time I collected these relics. And I get a siege workshop up. The AI is going to the Imperial Age before us. Which I don't really mind. I find the AI often goes to the Imperial Age before me, but usually that's because I'm winning the Castle Age, and I'm not so worried about the Imperial Age. I should have the score on, by the way. There we go. So you can see I'm a healthy 1700 ahead. We're up to 96 villagers. That extra villager count is a big help. Sending this monk to get this relic. And I know they've been building lots of archers and spearmen, so I decided to get some mangonels. Meanwhile, I want to start building a horde of Mangudai here. So mangonels and Mangudai are what I'm making primarily, and I don't really have much need for trash. I guess if I had to pick one, I would pick skirmishers to deal with their archers and spearmen. But right now, it seems like my Mangudai and mangonels are enough to take those, and they're not coming at me with anything else right now, really. Some skirmishers, as we see there. But skirmishers aren't the biggest threat. They do have a battering ram coming, but we have lots of anti-siege Mangudai to help deal with that. Still queuing up a few more villagers. It's good to get over 100 if you can. But mostly working on military, trying to get people gold mining. I want to get all of these resources, all this gold, all this stone. I want to claim for myself. I have a swarm of Mangudai in this castle. I should really have gotten them out sooner to deal with that battering ram. I guess I just didn't notice the ram soon enough, even though I noticed it this time. But that's alright, it didn't do a whole lot of damage to the castle. We see this other ram coming, so we send some Mangudai to deal with that. And we see that they're putting up a town center, so I want my Mangudai to go kill their villagers before they can get it up. And usually if you kill all the villagers the AI wants to send, then the AI will just delete it, as they do just there. So this Mangudai Death Ball is now just tearing through villagers. The mangonels are protecting that side of the castle, Mangudai on the other side. A monk starts converting, but that's not a problem for cavalry archers. They'll deal with it really quickly. And there's an eagle warrior. So now the AI is making a few eagles. Which in theory should be good against my cavalry archers, but if I've massed up enough of them, then a single eagle at a time isn't going to do any damage. So I'm housed. I should be building more houses like I just did. Got to the Imperial Age, researching elite Mangudai. Got one Mangudai converted, no biggie. Mangonel's destroying houses. Mangudai's destroying rams, villagers. Researching drill for our siege, make it faster. Researching Parthian tactics from the archery range, making our Mangudai and cavalry archers better. And bloodlines from the stable to make them have more health. And I send those mangonels to deal with that town center. Slight mistake, I think, because the town center is able to take him out faster than the mangonels could destroy the TC. But we're 5,000 points ahead now. Hard to go wrong at this point. Accidentally called the town bell there. I meant to go to my blacksmith. Yeah, so we lost our mangonels to the TC, unfortunately. But I'm building trebuchets now, and I'm upgrading the mangonel. And since the AI is just coming at us with skirmishers, I put the Mangudai in the castle, because I think the castle's arrows, I believe, are stronger than the Mangudai's arrows against skirmishers. But I could be wrong about that, it could just look like it. Now I have a trebuchet out doing damage to the enemy's buildings. Skirmishers aren't going to stop it. No, there's a town center down here because I can see the farms. So I should send my trebuchets over there before too long. But right now I want to finish off the first town center that we found. I'm just protecting these trebuchets with Mangudai. The token skirmishers they send out aren't really a threat. And we keep getting villager kills, meanwhile we're at 109 villagers, so... I think at this point a human probably would have surrendered. But this is an AI, and they don't like to surrender that easily. So now I have lots of food and gold, so I queue up some knights. as well as my Mangudai. Those knights are going to deal more effectively with the skirmishers. I have tons of wood. I should really get a market up and buy more gold, or, you know, sell wood for gold. But I'm so focused on micromanaging the military that I can't be bothered to do that right now. There we go. I set those trebuchets to deal with that town center. I need to deal with that mangonel. These trebuchets are going to take down that TC in no time. I've got Cavaliers and Mangudai coming out now. Building the last 3 houses that I need to. Also building onagers. Try to deal with these skirmishers even faster, along with our knights. We got knights to deal with the skirmishers, we got Mangudai to deal with the few pikemen they send out. I noticed they have a trebuchet of their own now. I'm using my treb to target theirs. I think they're doing the same, actually. Ooh, and they get ours first. Actually, I think we get theirs as well. So we got a draw there. That monk's got a relic. Better kill it. I have 28 idle villagers. I should really give them some task. I have a lot of every resource though, and gold is running low. There's a little bit of gold here on the mini-map, and maybe a little bit of stone. It's kind of far forward, so I don't know if I want to send that many villagers to go get it right now, but... with nothing else to do, I just set them to chop wood. Slowly but surely, we're just carving into the enemy's base. Mangudai and Cavaliers coming out. Teching up to Siege Ram and queuing up 14 battering rams to just make that final push, destroy all their buildings. And with drill, our battering ram will be much faster than it otherwise would be. It's one thing I love about the Mongols, their fast siege. Be great to pair them with the Celts, I think. Get that siege production bonus and speed on ours. So I'm out of that stone by my castle, so I send my villagers there to mine stone, where the AI is mining stone over here, mining some gold there. I decided to build a castle on that gold that we saw on the minimap earlier. There's also some gold right here if we could get it, but that's pretty far forward. We'd have to really push into the enemy's base to get that safely anyway. But you can see our siege rams are just decimating the enemy base now. And they get in so quickly after being trained. That castle's going up. It'll attack the enemy's mining camp while we put a mining camp down of our own. And I decided to build a mining camp on that forward gold there. The enemy's gold, really. And down goes that castle. I don't see another TC right at this point. It's likely the AI has another one just because they haven't abdicated yet, but most of their town's destroyed. I just need to hunt down villagers at this point. Now I'm just using these rams to scout, looking for the enemy's TC. Out come more cavaliers, more Mangudai, more battering rams. I destroy their monastery with a relic inside. There's their TC over there in the corner. And I just found it and sent my battering rams to go attack it. And we found a nest of villagers. Once we deal with these guys, the computer will finally give up. Their throne was most uncomfortable. So, there's a victory. Have a look at our scores. We dominated in these categories. 630 units killed, 215 lost, 76 buildings razed. Largest army was only 43, though, only 6 higher than their largest army. We collected everything more. The only age they beat us to is the Imperial Age. We both got there quite late. That's because I was busy winning in the Castle Age. Had a higher research count. Got 4 relics in the end for 3,000 relic gold, 112 villager high. And here's our timeline. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you look forward to more videos in the series, playing against every civilization of the Mongols. And I hope to see you next time. Bye!